So now we are going to discuss about this envelope detection. This diagram is quite similar to your square law demodulator, but the working principle of this envelope detection is depend upon the time constant. Time constant based on this Rs with respect to C and the time constant with respect to C and RL. Now why we have chosen this RL, C and RL, that we will discuss in our derivations step by step. But the first thing is that the envelope detection is very simple to design, and with the help of this we can extract the modulating signal in a proper way. And we need a certain limitation also. In this envelope detection there are the frequency sensitivity, means it will identify the frequency component with respect to modulating signal as well as carrier component. So that time constant plays a vital role. That time constant means, if I will say time constant, I will write tau is equals to RC. Now as we know that 1 by tau I can represent in terms of frequency. So that means this RC component plays a vital role in order to identify the modulating signal as well as the carrier component, because as we are receiving the modulated signal which consists of carrier as well as modulating signal, so our device need to be so synchronized or so much friendly with the received signal so that it will extract or it will identify the presence of carrier as well as presence of modulating signal. Okay. Now here first we will analyze what is the envelope detection, then we will provide the AM signal to the envelope detection, and we will identify what is the output of the envelope detection. So first I am going to use the sine signal. If I am providing the sinusoid signal to this circuit, then what will be the output? Let us discuss first that one. Then we will see what is the output of the cosine signal at the output of this detector. Now whatever the thing output that is available at the detector will be the DC component. Why? Because this rectification, what it will done with respect to first diode, it will rectify only the positive half of a given signal, and that too presence of this RC circuit, it will identify the DC variations, and at the output of this we will provide this one act as a smoothing filter so that it will get as a DC component. Only the positive half will identify. Now first let us see, as I have written, the envelope detector is very simple and cheaper. Yes, it is very simple and cheaper. It is very simple to design. We require a diode series with a resistance Rs connected with a parallel RC circuit. With the help of this we can extract the modulating signal as well as identify the presence of carrier component also. And one more advantage of this envelope detection is that the output what is available at the output of this detector, from that we can know the mode of transmission, whether we have transmitted the signal in under modulation or critical modulation or over modulation. This is the advantage of this envelope detectors. Okay. Next, the positive envelope of an applied signal will be as a product at the output, so it is called as an envelope. Yes, if I am providing the signal, means if it is a continuous signal, it will identify only the positive half due to the presence of this diode. It will rectify, and that particular rectification is processed with the help of this RL circuit. It is a smoothing filter, due to which the charging of capacitor and discharging of capacitor is so synchronized that it will look like as a DC component is available at the output. Okay, so that is the one more advantage. Now let us consider, this is my sinusoid signal, that is A sin omega t or A sin omega t. It is a sinusoid signal. Now this sinusoid signal is given to this envelope detector. Then what will be my outputs? What will be the decision taken by this Rs, taken by this C into RL? Depend upon this, we will identify what is the output we are going to fetch at the envelope detector. Okay, so this is my modulating signal. I have wrote, there are two conditions are there. There are basically three conditions I will discuss later on. So first, case 1, since this is my diode, it will work in a positive half. Means when I will provide the positive potential to the P part and negative potential is given as an N part, it is a PN junction, then only it will become as a forward bias. Now as you can see, my sinusoid signal is increasing, then it is decreasing. So when it is increasing, that that means it will become as a forward bias. But when it is decreasing up to this much, it will conduct, but in a reverse. But after that, when it is moving to the negative peak, it will simply act as an open circuit. It is called as a reverse bias condition. So only the positive part we are going to identify at the output of this particular device. Okay. So first, let us consider T is equals to 0 plus. 0 plus means it is only the positive part, small fraction of part. As you can see in this figure, here I have drawn that T is equals to 0 plus. T is equals to 0 plus means it is a small hike in our modulating signal. So, small hike of a modulating signal means let us consider this particular part as T is equals to 0. So, if it is a positive, that means the PN junction will become in a forward bias condition and current conduction will be takes place, and you can see the diode will become as a short circuit. Short circuit means it is in on condition. So it is in forward bias, it is in on condition. Now when it is on condition, what will happen? The current will flows in this circuit and this capacitor will get charged. Okay. So charge until what? Charge until it reaches to the maximum potential. Until it reaches to the maximum potential. Maximum potential is how much? 8. So it will charge up to when it is Vc is equals to A. But for the time being, we are discussing that at T is equals to 0 plus, we are providing the potential 0.01. So when for this T is equals to 0 plus, potential is 0.01, that means output at this particular terminal will be 0.01. And it will increase up to how much? It will increase up to potential A, because as we have considered this Vi is equals to A sin omega nt, so it will charge up to A, and again when it is coming down with a negative phase, it will discharge at that particular time. So here you can see the time constant Rs into C, means product of this Rs into C should be very small, so that capacitor charge to the input voltage very rapidly. Input voltage very rapidly means if R and C component tau is very small, or if the time period is very small, then only it will charge very rapidly. Okay, so it will identify. So the time constant Rs into C should be very small. It should be very small. It can be considered in nanofarad or it can be considered in a ohm. So if I will multiply this, the time period will become in a nanosecond, so it will get charged fast. So if it is charging fast, the output is available at this particular terminal is 0.01. Similarly, it will increase up to the peak potential A. Okay. So in this figure you can see at 0 is equals to T is equals to 0 plus, the positive part is there, so we are evaluating as a 0.01. Then when it is increasing, let us consider time period T is equals to T1. At time period T is equals to T1, we are getting the peak amplitude. Now when we are getting the peak amplitude, your capacitor will charge up to potential A. So Vc of T is equals to A. As you can see, Vc of T is equals to A. Now when this Vc of T is equals to A, it reaches the peak value, then when the input potential is coming into the negative phase, means coming into the negative potential, it is decreasing. Now when it is decreasing, your capacitor start discharging. Why? Because when it is entered to the negative half cycle, your diode is going to the reverse bias. Now if a diode is going to the reverse bias, means the diode is going to be an open circuit. If it is an open circuit, it will act as a source and the capacitor will discharge. And then discharge depends upon the time period C into R. So this is the two time period. Okay, there are two time period we need to identify. First, Rs into C. This time period should be very small, so that it will charge the capacitor in a faster rate. Okay. Second, when it is in negative half cycle, it will act as an open circuit, diode is in reverse bias condition, and then capacitor will act as source and it will start discharge. So if it is start discharge, it depends upon certain time period. That time period is C into RL. So that is the time period which helps us to RL into C. And this RL into C will help us to determine whether we have identified the modulating signal or whether we are dependent upon the carrier component. So this particular RL into C will decide the presence of carrier as well as presence of modulating signal in my modulated signal. So in this figure you can see, so first it is increasing up to A, then it is decreasing little bit. Why? Because in this figure you can see at t is equals to t1 plus, so that means up to this particular potential your diode is in forward biased condition. Okay, though it is in coming in a negative, means the amplitude is decreasing. Then what happens after this particular potential, sudden decrement is there, sudden amplitude comes into a negative, so your forward bias will become as a reversed bias and it will become as an off condition. So that off condition, the time period is so less, so that it will directly identify the next cycle. So that particular time period is decided by RS into this C. So now discharging when it is done, so here you can see this particular part is called charging and this particular part is called discharging. Now when it is charging, it is RS into C. When it is discharging, it is C into RL. So if it is C into RL, this must be so high that it will identify the frequency component. If this tau into RC is component is very high, that means the modulating signal presence is identified. If tau is equals to RC into RL is very small, that means carrier frequency is present. So that thing we will discuss. So first we will identify, after this particular point it will directly identify this T2, because here the cycle starts again in forward bias condition. So after this forward bias condition, it again starts with a charging point and again it is discharging. So this is a rectification process, the presence of RC component at the output of a diode. Now same thing I have drawn here, output of VC, first it is charging, then it is discharging, then again it is charging, then it is discharging. Now this discharging time period will decide the presence of frequency of carrier and frequency of modulating signal. Okay, so here at t is equals to t1, the input reaches to the maximum value, then the output of ED also is high. Yes, at t is equals to t1, when your input reaches to the high, your output of your envelope detector, that is VC of t, also reaches high. It is also reaches high. But when it is decreasing, that means it will act in a reversed bias condition, but it will conduct up to certain limitation. So that limitation is decided by this t is equals to t1 plus. So t is equals to t1 plus. After this, it will drive the negative cycle and your diode will become as an off. In that case, your RC will discharge your current. So if it is start discharging, that means it will identify the next component. So this is the next component. So next cycle, when it is forward biased with a slight potential, then it will directly communicate to this and then your output will be observed in this sort of nature. So this is the case when your t is equals to t1. Now this is the time period, charging time period and discharging time period, that it plays a vital role. Now when I am providing all these things to my envelope detector, these are the certain cases we are identifying. So here there are the two things, two time period, one RS into C. This time period should be very small so that your capacitor will get charged fast. First case. Second, after charging, in the next discharging case, your R and C, it will decide whether the presence of carrier frequency or whether the presence of modulating signal in our amplitude modulated signal. If your RC into RL time period is high, that means frequency is less, So in our modulated signal, whose frequency is less? Modulating signal frequency is less. If your RC into RL time period is very less, your frequency is very high. If the frequency is very high, that means it will identify the presence of carrier. So with the help of this combination, this R and C will decide, or it will vary, lies between the carrier frequency to the modulating frequency. And with the help of that, we can reconstruct our modulating signal. Okay. So this is the concept behind the envelope detection, and two more conditions I will write. First, tau is equals to RL into C is very small. It is very small and discharge rapidly. Discharge to zero rapidly. This is the first. Then tau is equals to RL into C if it is high. Then capacitor discharge slowly. Okay. So this indicates what? If tau is equals to RC is very small means if tau is equals to 1 by f, if I will write. If tau is inversely proportional to f, if tau is small, that means frequency is high. If frequency is high, discharging to zero is rapidly. That is the discharging case. Second, if tau is equals to RL into C is very high. If the component is very high, time period is very high. So that means frequency is less. If the frequency is less, your capacitor will discharge slowly. Now what is the disadvantage of this? Disadvantage of this means it will identify the component and the time period it will take more to identify the presence of modulating signal. So if your frequency is very high, that means I can say it is related to the carrier frequency, and if the discharging time period is very high, that means frequency is less, I will relate with respect to modulating frequency. So that means my RC component, RL into C component must be lies between 1 by FC to 1 by FM. So this is the condition through which your envelope detection method works. Okay, so here we have to see it is 1 by FC must be less than RL into C less than 1 by FM. If RL into C is less than 1 by FM means or equal to FM means the time period is very high, so it will identify the frequency component, that is modulating signal. Here if it is very small, that means it will discharge rate is fast, frequency is high, and it will identify the carrier frequency. Okay, so next class we will discuss all these things in a more explanatory manner, as well as mathematical analysis also we will do. So next class we will continue with respect to this envelope detection. Thank you.